It's nearly playoff season for our fall sports. Let's get you up to speed. Welcome to this week's edition of Behind the Blue. Millikin volleyball took part in 4 games last week. Millikin traveled up to Elmhurst on Wednesday night. The Big Blue took a 2-1 lead before the Blue Jays came roaring back, with Millikin falling 3-2. On Friday and Saturday, Millikin hosted the 5-State Classic. The Big Blue opened on Friday evening with a 3-0 sweep of Loras College. On Saturday, the Big Blue started things off with a 3-1 win over Trine. Millikin won a close opening set and dominated sets 2 and 4 en route to victory. And in the final game of the tournament, Millikin took on Westminster to go along with their Senior Day festivities. Millikin was cruising all the way through as the Big Blue dominated their opposition on the way to the sweep. Millikin finished the tournament a perfect 3-0 along with Albion College. Loras, Simpson, and Trine all finished 1-2, with Westminster finishing 0-3. This brings women's volleyball to 16-7 on the year. Their 3-3 record in the CCIW is good for 5th in the conference, and this week Millikin hosts North Central on Wednesday before traveling to the Calvin Midwest Invitational on Friday and Saturday. The postseason push is in full swing for women's volleyball. Millikin finds themselves mathematically eliminated from contention for the CCIW regular season crown, but nobody has been officially eliminated from tournament contention just yet, with North Park, Carroll, and Augustana on the outside of the cut looking in. If the conference tournament were to start today, Millikin would be traveling to Elmhurst in the first round, with the winner traveling up to Wheaton in the semifinals. Moving on to men's soccer, the Big Blue traveled up to Carroll on Saturday. A scoreless first half was followed by a 3-goal second half, with Millikin ending up on the losing side by a score of 2-1. This brings men's soccer to 1-9-2 on the year. Their 1-3-1 record in the CCIW places them 8th in the conference. This week, Millikin travels to North Park on Wednesday before hosting Wash U on Saturday. The postseason push continues for men's soccer as well. Despite dropping to 8th in the CCIW, Millikin finds itself still in play for a CCIW tournament berth. The Big Blue are just a game back from 4th place, with nobody being officially eliminated from contention. If the conference tournament were to start today, Millikin would not qualify, with Wheaton, Elmhurst, North Central, and North Park making up the field. Moving on to women's soccer, the Big Blue were on the road at Carroll last week as well. With Carroll leading 1-0 at the break, Millikin would score early in the second with a goal coming from Amanda Noser. However, the Pios would retake the lead later and not look back. This brings women's soccer to 7-6 on the year. Their 2-3 record in the CCIW is good for 5th in the conference, and this week Millikin will host North Central on Saturday. The postseason push is also here for women's soccer. Millikin is just barely on the other side of the line in 5th place. Everything is still on the table. With the Big Blue just a half game out from 4th, nobody has been officially eliminated. If the conference tournament were to start today, Millikin would not qualify, with Augustana, Illinois Wesleyan, North Central, and Wheaton making up the field. Football was in action on Saturday up at Illinois Wesleyan. Millikin failed to find the scoreboard in this one, with the Titans claiming victory by a score of 14-0. Calport was 16 of 34 passing for 228 yards and 2 interceptions. Marion McGee led Big Blue rushers with 16 rushes for 73 yards, and Colton Lockwood hauled in 113 yards on 6 receptions through the air. Tatum Teicher had 10 tackles and a fumble recovery defensively for Millikin in the loss. Millikin sits at 2-4 on the year, and their record of 2-3 in the CCIW puts them 7th in the conference. They host Wash U on Saturday evening. With the conference schedule over halfway through, the title chase has officially formed. North Central has the lead, with Millikin 3 games back from the top spot. Nobody has been eliminated from title contention. Women's tennis was on the road at Augustana last week. Millikin shined with a solid 8-1 victory in their regular season finale, 5-1 in singles, and sweeping all 3 doubles matches. This brings women's tennis to a strong 10-1 mark on the year. A 7-1 CCIW finish sees them second in the conference, and Millikin will be in action at the CCIW Championships this week. The field is officially set for the 2021 CCIW Women's Tennis Championships. Millikin will be the second seed and take on 7th-seeded Illinois Wesleyan in the first round. Millikin won the regular season matchup with the Titans via a sweep 9-0. Millikin women's tennis has had a fantastic season by their standards, but they've been so dominant that they have seen a few records broken and a few more on record watch. One of these is the record for the longest team winning streak. Millikin is currently tied the 25-year-old Big Blue record and can break it with a win over rival Illinois Wesleyan this week. Another record that's currently sitting on watch is singles season winning percentage. Millikin is currently at a 909 and is on pace to break the old mark from 1995 of 889. In addition, freshman Chloe Saban has a record on watch of her own. Her 11-0 singles record puts her winning percentage at 1,000. And this puts her on pace to best Tiffany Hill's 26-year-old mark of 857. But enough talk about the record she might break. Chloe Saban already has a Millikin record to her name. Her current singles win streak sits at 11, and this streak takes down a record that's just about double her age. That's right, Saban has broken a 36-year-old Millikin record for the longest singles winning streak. Congratulations, Chloe. But why stop with the players? This season saw Millikin's director of tennis break a record as well. With 10 wins in the regular season, Alex Covington pushes her win total to 44, making her the winningest coach in the history of Millikin women's tennis. Congratulations, Alex. Moving on to cross country, they were up at the Augustana Invite last week. Millikin finished 13th on both sides with Dane Alexander and Haley O'Malley as the Big Blues' top finishers. Cross country is off this week. Triathlon was in Virginia for the Kinetic Cup Triathlon Festival on Saturday. It was a marquee moment for the program, as for the first time in their history, Millikin finished first in an NCAA qualifying event. Hope Roderick was Millikin's top finisher in 5th place. Now it's time to recognize our Big Blue athletes of the week. Our first athlete is Hope Roderick. Last week, Hope was the top finisher for Millikin Triathlon at their NCAA qualifying event, and she has been Millikin's top finisher at every event so far this season. Our second Big Blue athlete of the week is Dane Alexander. Dane has consistently paced Millikin in the top 3 for the Big Blue in almost every meet this season. He finished 58 at Augustana last week, running the 8th fastest 8K in Big Blue history. That's all for this week's edition of Behind the Blue. Be sure to tune in next week for all your Millikin sports news. Have a great week and go Big Blue.